My name is Ty with LaCroix and Hammock Data.
Sid here from Hammock Data and Data Peer.
That one bold. Oh my god.
So I think today we wanted to talk about. We're starting to do the videos a little differently. We're starting to go through like single topics this time around rather than talking about general business. So this one we want to talk about targeting your niche, right?
Yep.
Like what's the advantage of being broad? What's the advantage of being super narrow? We have a bunch of customers that are resellers, right? I see an array of stuff people are doing.
Yep.
And what I've seen is some people just go out and get a bunch of different stuff, and then the other types will just get like shoes, or they'll get their specific item. That's it.
Yep.
So what's the advantage? Let's talk about pros and cons about. So what's the advantage of targeting just one specific type of products?
One specific type of product is going to be harder to get off the ground. I think from that $1 to $100,000, it's going to be the most difficult, right? And the margins are going to be smaller as well. Because let's say for shoes, unless you have a shoe plug, right, it makes it very, very hard to get a load of shoes at cost, and like. You have to go through it. Like, I know a couple people that do Goodwill runs and Savers runs only do shoes. It's doable, but there's gonna be a lot of drive time, and it's gonna be very, very hard to get one of those. The massive margin, like I talked about with that watch, is not gonna ever be there. It's gonna be specific base hits over and over and over. You might get a double or a triple, but you're never gonna get that blast off home run.
Real quick, if you guys heard Ty mention the watch that he bought, watch one of our previous videos. The video is talking about how to find products to resell or where to source products. And he talked about a watch he bought for $2 and sold it for $1,700.
Yep. Very
interesting story. But that's you can watch that one if you're interested. But anyway, so going back to this, so it sounds like if you were targeting a specific niche, it's a lot slower to ramp up. So if I'm selling just shoes, the biggest thing is how do I find these shoes to actually sell them, right?
Yep.
So you're doing a lot more runs. You're you're going to different Goodwills. You're maybe driving around all day trying to find these products, correct?
Yep. The one good positive about that though is you become very, very good at that. Like I ran a shoe store while I was running that garage. So we had two different stores at one point when I was in my mom's backyard. We had a estate sale, garage sale that were our massive hits where we're making $200, $300, $400, $500 off an item. But we had also had a shoe store, which you can get a lot of supply, but the margins there.
Gotcha.
The margin isn't as massive.
So margin is massive. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? So you have a shoe store that you're building up. Biggest problem you have to solve for is buy shoes. You can go to garage sales. You can go all these places. One interesting thing I found out was a lot of these communities, right? They will have a garage sale day, right? Yep. So they'll have all the houses are going to put on a garage sale the same exact day.
Yep.
I think you should start looking out for those. They sometimes appear on Google. They are if you really hunt for them, you'll find those out. And they only do it once a year. But these are days to really go rack up and buy 1,000 shoes.
Yep. On that topic, community sales are number one. Number two is church sales. 3 is estate sales, and then 4 is your normal garage sale, right?
Okay.
In terms of scale and how many products there. What I used to do is everybody used to go to these community sales. I would run through it quickly, scrape the best top stuff off, and then I would jump to estate sales afterwards because all the attention, all the resellers go to that community sale. So you got to be quick in and out, and then you can jump to an estate sale and you can get massive hits because no other resellers are there, and you can just slay those hard.
So let me ask you this then. Let's talk through this real quick. People know how to I guess people know how to search online to find used products, right?
Yep.
eBay, all these places you can find them. Great. Community sale. How do you search around for finding community sales?
Yeah, so Craigslist, for sale, garage sale, and then just in the search type in community sale. And that's gonna be the best way. So like I said, those 4 items. I would search community sale, and then church sale, and then estate sale, and then garage sale.
Got it. For sale. So you search for sale, Craigslist, garage sale.
Yep.
What is the other one?
And then that will take you into the main section, and then you start searching those up on top, those categories up on top.
Gotcha.
You just type in the search bar.
Okay. And then estate sale, how do you find those?
Same way, garage sales and estatesale.net. The kicker with estatesale.net is that they're going to be company ran estate sales, right? So the problem with company run estate sales is it takes out that element depending on we've really killed I'll go into the story in a second. But with those company run estate sales, they're gonna know the price on these things. They might mark it down a certain amount to get people in the door and then sell try to move all the product. But their main goal is to price it as best as possible, get the most money out of, right?
Gotcha. One other thing let me throw in here, auction houses, right? So I've seen a lot of auctions going on here recently where they're selling branded sportswear for maybe like 1/5 the price.
Pennies on the dollar.
Right. And the question, and like, like for me, I was like, well, this shirt is not my size, but if I was going to buy it to sell it online, easily, right?
Yep.
Sold, right? How do you, like, what's the pro and con of going after these auction houses and trying to do this type of business? Because I know you used to do it before, right? What do you not do still?
Yeah, it's all about skill. At a certain point, you're going to get skilled out, right? So, for us, the main problem was automation on the back end, and then a supply front on the front end.
So, like, to kind of dumb that down a little bit, it sounds like you had to basically, to supply front is like, you have to actually go physically get the product.
Correct.
It doesn't get delivered to you.
Friction.
And so you were like, hey, I'm spending all my time to go doing this. So, but that's a great way to start your business or like scale up your business to a certain point. Then say, okay, now I'm going to think about something bigger. Right?
And the margins are bigger when you go out and drive. Think about your time as a leverage point.
Right.
And if I go out and drive to all these estate sales and garage sales, I can get better margin on top of it because I'm using my own labor to then go and buy these products.
Exactly. So you want to create that labor arbitrage by like using your mind to figure out what's a good product.
Yep.
And then selling it, and that's what's going to let you actually get more money.
Yep.
Cool. That totally makes sense. But I mean, like, I get it why you're not doing it anymore because your business is at a point where you want to scale it up and you don't want to drive around places. But for anyone that's like still trying to like really get up and running to get up to a $200,000, $500,000 business,
Yep.
It might be worth driving around on weekends or weekdays. Go to auction houses, all these places. Literally, I saw auction house sale that was going on in Phoenix here. They had like Nike, Puma, everything branded selling, and it was like stuff that was selling for like $5 a pop, right?
It's a great way to get a lot of inventory.
I mean, I was like, man, like next time I need to buy clothes, just go there, buy one or two for myself, right?
The problem is selection at that point. Like so I went to a state sale. Like I wanted a new belt. Oh, this is so fucking stupid. So I wanted a new belt, and I'm like, this estate sale out in Ahwatukee had like Gucci and like Ferragamo belts. I'm like, I'm going there to buy these belts, right? I get there and there's nothing there. They're already sold out, right? I'm like, and it was an estate run. It was when I got there, it was an estate run. People like these guys are actually pretty good. Like we used to be competition with them. They're actually one of the better players. So I knew the prices were going to be high. But now I'm looking every weekend to find a non-company run estate sale that I can go and buy a belt or some sweet shit at that I can just use personally now. It's kind of a fun thing. So if you want to buy some cheap stuff, go to estate sales and then just rummage through it. It's Goodwill on crack.
Goodwill on crack. All right, cool. So, all right, just to summarize the whole conversation, like you got stuff that you can buy from other countries. You got stuff that you can buy on like marketplace arbitrage, eBay to Amazon, best one out there. Look at LaCroix, get more information on it. Community sales. So and then locally, there's community sales, garage sales, state sales, auction houses. There's obviously the clearance sections of department stores, right?
Salvation Army, Goodwill, Savers. Those are also thrift stores, right?
Yep. Goodwill, pawn shops.
Pawn shops are a great one.
But like, let me just kind of like take this step back. Then, if I could, like, there's all these places you can go to, right? And all like pawn shops, you're gonna be getting used products generally. Other places, new products. If you could just pick like one or two, spend your time on, which one would you pick? If you were starting your business today.
Starting my business today, I would go garage sales and estate sales, 100%, because you're gonna find those massive hits. Like if you're probably gonna be so stoked. Like at one point, I was pulling in like $3,000 to $7,000 on weekends.
Wow.
And with like a spend of maybe $500, maybe $1,000, I really found something great, right?
Okay.
So you have ridiculous margins. Hit that up first, and then you can start doing the other things to expand.
Okay, so you do auction houses and garage sales. That's what you didn't say that. You said garage sales and estate sales first, right?
Then auction houses would probably be the second hard one that I would jump to. You're looking at how much competition is in that field, right? And if I can get a smoking deal.
Gotcha.
Right.
So then you go to auction houses as a second thing. Okay. Third thing you then start looking at is like clearance items and then Goodwill shops and pawn shops and whatnot.
Exactly.
But those are like your tier 3 when you really start maxing out the first two.
Yeah, because if you look at like the concept behind it, it's you're going closest to the consumer. The closest one, the consumer always going to win, right? Because if you're
what that means is actually it's going to have the least margin, right? Closest to the consumer because
it's going to have the most margin.
But so.
Consumer as in the person the first, like if we look at it, so let's say you buy this shirt at a department store, you have it, the system becomes as in it goes manufacturer, store, right? You as a consumer, and then you get rid of it at a thrift store or auction house or whatever, right? So I want to like that point is I need to I want to go in that leverage point right there, and I want to be the first one on top of it. So like going to the store and you're taking like with that shirt, you're gonna take the brunt of the cost.
Right.
You're gonna hit the most depreciation. You're gonna do that. I want to be the closest one to the depreciation, aka my eyes is probably put wrong, but closest one, the consumer, that the user of that product.
Gotcha. So, okay. So I think we're on the same page. We're just talking about it slightly differently.
I think it's just my terminology.
So you're saying that like auction house, if you buy the product there and then you give it to the consumer, right? Mm-hmm. You're the closest to the consumer at that point.
You're all closest. I'm thinking the closest to the seller. My bad.
The seller.
The seller, right?
The seller. Okay.
Closest to the seller, because if an auction house is they're a middleman, right? So if an auction house is going to take that product, first off, they're going to take their markup, right? There's going to be other people up there, so they know the price of these items because that's their business, right? So you're going to all that margin is going to be taken by the auction house as that middleman, and then there's going to be more people on that one product, so then they're going to bid up the price, and then your margin decreases.
Got it. Okay, totally makes sense. So, like, just kind of like then clarify this for everyone. Between garage sales and estate sales, between auction houses, and then between like Goodwill and pawn shops, where do you find the best margin?
Best margin, garage sales and estate sales.
Garage sales, estate sales. Okay, so basically the pyramid is like garage sales, estate sales, then drop down into what, auction houses next?
Auction houses, yep, and thrift stores probably.
And thrift stores, and then you go into like clearance items and
pawn shops.
Pawn shops.
Yep.
Right, and so so the closest to the consumer, then the way I'm thinking about it is, if you're at like you're buying clearance items, you're a consumer, you're buying stuff. So the margin you're gonna be able to create is a lot less than if you buy it at the top food chain, which is like estate sales or garage sales, whereas 100%. They're not pricing for the market, they're just pricing to get rid of stuff.
Yep.
Auction houses a little bit less margin because they are pricing, they understand the market, they're a little bit better, but they're just trying to move product fast. Now if you start going to like pawn shops and clearance shops, clearance stores, right? At that point, like the margin becomes a lot lower because unless at pawn shops there might be the exception product that you find.
Exactly.
But like these guys know what they're doing. They're pricing for the market already. It's their business, right? And then clearance items at stores, they're also pricing for the market. They know what the market is, so the margin you can create is a lot less.
Exactly. You hit on top of the head, man. You hit on top of the head.
Perfect. Cool, man. Love it. So this is good. So all right, guys. This is a quick section on how to source. If you guys have more questions, comment and like let us know. We'll reach out to you, chat with you. If you could start off online to online arbitrage, I think is the best thing. Start off there, man. Like let me do that.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the best. You have a lot of like backfills where like people like if a bad product comes to you, you can return it. You have a lot of guarantees, right, that prevent you from losing money. The next one I go to is local. Start looking at local, start creating more margin for yourself. Local, because you're putting your time to actually go places,
100%.
It's going to create more margin. And then the third one to do is international trade. That's if you really want to scale your business, right? Go crazy with it. International trade. People do it all over the world. People do it on eBay, or I have friends that like buy soybean and like marble from India, and they sell it in the U.S., right? Yep. And then they take stuff from here and they sell containers in India. That's true business, right? I mean, that's at that point, that's like true like market scale business. You want to get to that one day, but doesn't mean you can't make a lot of money just doing stuff international arbitrage by like buying stuff in London, selling it here, right? That's great.
And you can buy you cannot hit on top with like that's at scale. It's because these other countries, you're buying the whole country's items, right? Like if we're buying this router, we can buy thousands of this router if the demand in the United States was that high, right?
Exactly.
And you can just buy like
keep buying, right?
Oh my God, there's so much out there.
Cool, awesome, guys. All right, well, thanks for joining us. We're gonna have another video coming out soon. It's gonna talk about how to get used products to sell, how to put in the best condition possible, and check out our other videos. For now, thanks for joining.
Yep. Thanks again, guys. Hit like, comment, subscribe, and hit that smash that like button. If this is probably some of the best content we put out so far. Honestly, some kick-ass content. Smash that like button helps us out, and subscribe if you think this is great.
Nice. Cool. Hold in my hand.